jumping into authenticity, I would love to hear your POV on authenticity, and especially as you aim as an influencer to stay true to what you believe in, but at the same time balance that with sometimes what you have to promote.
There's one of my favorite quotes in the world, which is, art is meant to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. And I aim to do both all the time, but you can't always just be one thing. So everyone is so multifaceted, right? Everyone has a unique sense of humor, or everyone has their own types of vulnerabilities or fears. So I try to show all of them as much of a raw way as possible. And how I do that with brand connections is when I get a collaboration, let's say like Dior. So I got hit up by Dior and I was like, oh my God, that means I'm so glamorous. But I realized that was what was expected of me, right? They hit people up because they're like, Dior is glamorous, but now we're reaching out to like a normal person that's not a 6 foot tall European model, and we want you to do something with our brand. So they already have all the branding in the world, right? Everyone knows Dior. So they're reaching out to me because I'm not their usual person. So I thought, okay, what about me would be put into this glamorous idea and make it relatable to my audience. So I decided to do Instagram versus reality, That's kind of like a hot phrase lately, right? Because people are starting to have a little distrust about influencers and the things that they're selling. And so you have to kind of show the reality behind it. So when I came up with my campaign idea, I did a super glamorous video of me with my hair done and my makeup done and everything. And then I did a video of myself awkwardly putting on my mascara with my mouth open, which is something every girl suffers, right? Like whenever you're putting your, So every girl can relate to that idea that before you're glamorous, you have to get there, right? You have to go through the process of waking up and looking not so hot and then becoming as best as you can be. So that's kind of how I stay authentic, reminding myself what makes me me, and remembering the idea behind the brand itself as well, and combining those together.
Yeah, and it's a good question, and I think really like what it boils down to on my end as the agency is the first step is defining like what authenticity means for the brand. In order for us to connect to the proper influencer, we need to know what our message is. And in advertising, they tell you to find the truth. And something that I learned in multicultural, especially, is truth is absolutely 100% relative. It's completely different to one person from their point of view and the other. So something that I realized, and anybody in IW Group has heard me talk about this, is what really matters, I think, is this idea of sincerity. Because what's true to you might not be true to me, but if I actually mean what I say and you can tell that I mean what I say, then it's sincere. So in other words, it starts with focusing on brand intention before you can focus on brand attention. Once I define that, then the client and the brand already understands who they need to talk to. And then you just find the influencer who represents that and connects them. And if you hit it on the head, the synergy just clicks and it happens naturally.
That's great. And I know we're going to get to some examples, so I'm going to jump to Rosalind.
Sure.
Let's talk about engagement. So we're going to talk about examples that work, that are effective, and some examples that are not as effective. So let's start with effective.
Effective. So
Yes.
I actually met Tiffany because our client Mango Tours, we helped book 15 influencers on a trip, a 10-day trip to Taiwan and the Philippines. And we were searching through different influencers. We were recommended, some with millions of followers, some that were different creatives, culture creatives. Right when we saw Tiffany, we knew we wanted her on a trip. Aside from being Taiwanese, of course, we value authenticity. We knew that people followed her not only because of who she portrays, but she is who she is in there. And so the content we would create from her was really was really going to be beautiful. Number one, it was going to be without a filter, and it was not going to be too promotional. So that usually happens. That's when a campaign is successful. When you align, again, like what she said, an authentic creative or artist or a talent, and it ties in with the objective of the brand. Another way that I think that you guys did a great way with Manila Killa and booking him for the McDonald's campaign or the Kinjas, you're targeting that Asian American millennial audience by using the right talent that is also known as the most talented. You're not just booking the ones with millions of followers, because as we've seen, some of those influencers, number one, are expensive. Number two, they might not have the highest engagement. But number three, they're not the most talented and the most authentic that will relay and hit the core audience. So I think it's really important whenever we work as media or as talent bookers or connecting the dots between brands and influencers to choose those that are authentic. So